fireworks and everything else tonight. So
Oh, wow. Make sure I wasn't in front of a trailhead. Some of these areas have trails coming out. Look up here in the sky above us. See the blackbirds up high there onto the right, swirling? Those are black vultures. Some of them are turkey vultures. Now straight ahead of us and up, see right above our heads now? That bird right there, that black and white one, is a swallowtail kite. It's kind of a rare bird around here. They're migratory. They come up here in the late spring, summer, into the early fall from Brazil. They migrate up here and they breed. They're a predatory bird, lumped in with the hawks and the eagles, things like that. That's why you see them soaring around and they're looking for something in that field, maybe a snake. See them dive? Aren't they awesome? They're really cool birds. But there's a lot of them up here, but they migrate back and forth. And it's the only time of year you really see them. And but you'll watch them on the field and they'll dive and grab a mouse or a snake or something, you know.
What are they called again?
Swallowtail kites. Yeah, that's one of the ones the birders look for when they're trying to mark them off their list. You know?
Interesting.
We get a few of those birds out here that are kind of unique to us.
So do you ever have people who are birders come out on these rides to
Sure.
get those pictures?
Yeah. It helps if they tell me ahead of time, because if not, I'm just cruising around doing my thing, you know.
Yeah.
If you tell me I'm looking for this or that, I'm going to help you look for it. If not, you're just, you know, if we look up and look at it, whatever. Got to kind of tell me what you want to customize. But not really seeing a lot of gators this time of year. The water's up a bit and it's hot, so the gators aren't laying on the bank. January and February, really good months for them to lay on the shore when the water's cold. That's when they're going to lay out and sun themselves. This time of year, they've just finished the mating season. April, May, and June is the breeding season for the gators. So the males traveled around looking for females all that time, and they're kind of displaced. Now they're finding their way back to their home areas, you know, because they move around a lot looking for mates. So they're starting to make their way back to wherever they consider their home territory. And so you can't really depend on them to be in one area.
You know what this plant is that grows out on the water here?
Which one?
The one that's floating, these leaves, these big leaves?
The light green ones are water lettuce. The dark ones that are like round circles, those are dollar weed. And then there's one over here with like a shovel looking leaf on it, like a kind of looks like a manatee's tail. That's called a water hyacinth. Those actually have a purple pine cone sized flower on them usually. Most of these are invasive species. They're non-native. They've been spraying them. They were introduced in the 50s, 60s, somewhere around there. We had a big problem back around 1880 is when hydrilla was introduced into this river. And up north near Palatka, they had these different plants that got introduced. And it actually shut down the steamboats running through here because it choked off the river so bad that steamboats couldn't get up and down the river. And most of these plants come from either Southeast Asia or South America. They're just really hard to deal with. Now the plant you're touching next to us, it looks kind of like a cattail. Those we call bulrush. And there is a difference between those and a cattail. Don't ask me what the difference is. I guess bulrush doesn't have a cattail on it. So that's kind of neat because they have those little fuzzy ends that come up on them.
So are these waterways used for anything other than just little tourism and fishing? Or?
Anymore, it's used for tourism, fishing. Like I said, this is the St. Johns River. So this is one of 3 in the world that flows north. It's all fresh water. This is Melbourne's water supply also. This is where city water comes from. But this area is too shallow for any shipping or anything like that. North of here, there's a lot more that goes on. They have a lot of stuff that comes in through Jacksonville and things like that, you know. They have barges and things that come in up that way where the water's deeper. You know, more industry around there.
Three in the world that flow north, the Nile?
Nile and the Amazon.
Oh, okay.
North to the ocean. I looked it up one time. There's like 186 rivers that have portions that go north or whatever. But for the entire river to go north and to end in an ocean, there's only like 3 or 5 of them. So. Yeah. I've been wrong before, so if you know better, just tell me.
Well, I wasn't fact checking.
No. I get people on here sometimes that challenge me, and I've just got tired of trying to fight. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's like, okay, you got it. You caught me. So I just gave up on those kind of situations. I'd rather have a good time and enjoy the ride.
They are.
Yeah, it's interesting the way they cruise around.
Turkey vultures.
Yeah.
Is there actually something that they're like? Yes, the turkey vultures, or
Well, they're riding on the currents looking for, they're trying to smell something. Supposedly, turkey vulture can smell something dead for like 35 miles. So when they're up there, they're trying to get a whiff of something, They have the largest olfactory cavity of any animal on the planet as far as smelling something from a distance. The only one that ever had a larger one was the T-Rex, and they estimate the T-Rex could smell something rotting or dead at 65 miles. I'm just going by what Animal Planet and Discovery and all those say.
Sure.
So. But it's cool. I think it's pretty cool. Now, if you think about it, like over in Asia, they have the big kimono dragons, the big monitor-style lizards. And those animals, their main weapon is bacteria. When they bite something, it dies from infection, and then they follow it till it dies. So they'll bite you, and they don't kill you with the bite, because fighting you, could do damage to them. They just bite you, and they'll follow you around for a week or two till you die, and then they eat you. So that's kind of the way they've learned to live. Alligators, a little more sudden of a thing. If an alligator attacks, it tends to tear things up and swallow them whole if it can.
So does alligator drag its prey down to the bottom like crocodiles do that or something? So alligators do that too?
Mm-hmm. Sure. An alligator can stay underwater for around an hour. So it can grab something and bring it down and drown it. If it thrashes or something like that, they can roll over and over to, try and take the life out of you. For the most part, though, they usually, when they bite something, the pressure that they have in their mouth, they can just crush it. So, and most of the prey that they eat isn't large. I mean, they'll eat anything, but the majority of the prey they eat is small. It's like fish or birds or snakes, things like that, turtles. So it doesn't really pose a big problem to them.
Turtles. They smash their shell, I guess.
Oh yeah, when they grab them, they can just crush it. And their stomach is strong enough that they can digest bone and everything else. They can digest turtle shells. They can digest supposedly mild steel. All right, it's starting to warm up a little. Let's get moving. to the left is an old Native American Indian mound. A long time ago, the Ice Indians lived in here. Now we use it for our hunting camp because a lot of the land is come out here and hunt deer, hogs, turkeys, all kind of things. If you look at the sand along the shore, you can see white specks in it. Those are all broken shells. Those are stuff that the natives ate. Mussels, oysters, apple snails. We don't have any oysters in here, but they may have brought them back from the Indian River. You find a lot of broken pottery in there as well. Hang on, I'm sticking out on the trail. Boats coming through, so I wanted to get out of the trail. Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of broken Indian pottery around on there. It's just little shards mainly. You'd have to dig down to find anything big. Along the edges, there's a lot of broken stuff.
So how much land is there? How big is it?
The island's only like 2 to 4 acres, somewhere in there, maybe 5. It used to be a little bigger, but there's a lot of erosion that's gone on in it over the years, especially with all the boat traffic that we have coming through here and things like that.
So is it here and Turkey and everything that live under?
Not just on the island. Behind here, there's a lot of
Sometimes you can see gators sitting up on these beaches.
not usually in here. I don't really ever see them up here. Occasionally I'll see them walk up in front of here.
Are gators that threaten people, or do they usually run away when people come?
For the most part, they avoid people. The biggest issue that people have with gators is whenever they start feeding them. Once you start feeding alligators, that's when they really become a threat to humans.
So is that guy actually up on the dirt?
Sure. Yeah, when we drive by there, you'll see it. Yeah, I don't really approve of driving up in there like that, but they're going to do it anyways. Why not? Right?
So is that a personal boat, or is that a...
Yeah, those are all private boats. People's individual boat.
Are there a lot of these type? What do they call this? A fan boat?
Airboat.
Airboat.
Airboat. There are a lot of them. There's tons of them registered in the state of Florida. More and more lately. There's more manufacturers that are making these in the mainstream. Producing them all over. And they're all over the country now. They're big in Alaska. Yeah, they use them for moose hunting and stuff. I figure this kind of a boat, like you see it going over land, it can go over snow, it can go over ice. You know, if you're ice fishing, you can go over the ice, and if it breaks through, you're floating. I mean, so it's not like driving a car on the ice or something. You don't really have a problem. Any other questions or anything? No? Okay, well I think we got a little gap here in the boat, so we're going to take off. Up ahead, some nice cypress. The camera's ready. Keep an eye on it.
What does the cypress tree look like?
You'll see.
Okay.
Right up ahead. You'll know that they're different.